Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Nick Atkin on the South China Morning Post, SCMP MMA. Sorry, we're a little bit late. I had to write a story two stories this morning about the stuff we are going to talk about now. And here's Chris anyway. What's up, Chris?
Oh, an absolute pleasure, Nick. Hello. I'm all good. Yourself?
You again. Yeah, I'm all right. Just crazy morning, really. I've been writing 2 stories we're going to talk about now. I was just saying, Shinya Aoki against Sage Northcutt at lightweight.
Wow.
The
Huge.
atomweight Grand Prix. They finally announced it, didn't they? And we also originally we were just going to preview one championship, Fists of Fury, which goes down on Friday in Singapore. But so much crazy shit has happened overnight, so
100.
I think we should talk about all that stuff first, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a mad 24 hours in the world of one, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes it's pretty quiet in the world of one, but when things happen, they happen very quickly, and there's usually some big news. So good that we can talk
I think it
about
was very smart of them to release all this news and do all these press releases just before the Angela Lee fight as well, because for sure that's going to bring some eyes onto one championship, I believe.
Yeah. So Angela's 16-year-old sister, obviously Victoria, will be fighting on Friday at Fists of Fury in the opening fight, no less, against Sunisa Srisen. Here's Blaze. Blaze?
I don't know how to math.
There's something wrong with your audio. I have to remove you briefly. It's all fuzzy. Yeah, Victoria Lee, sorry, Chris, gonna fight Sunisa Srisen. We'll get to all that, but you're right. It's gonna be huge eyeballs, I think, now on that card. And where do we begin? Let's see if Jasmine's got her audio ready. No. I hope you don't think I'm being mean. I just can't hear anything if I put you in. No, it's all good. I literally stopped typing that story about 5 minutes ago. So, yeah. Hey, everyone in the chat watching. I know a few people have been waiting for this one, so glad you're with us. Yeah, Peter Lee is asking an important question here. I think we'll get to all those, Chris. Why don't we just run through, first of all, the 8 women in the Grand Prix. I'm going to big up my own website. I just wrote the story, so I will share that on the screen. Okay, because, yeah, you and I, we have some problems with it, don't we? Not with each other, just with...
No. I think it's a really fun Grand Prix. I think they've got a really good group of 8 women to go into it. I like that they're all from different countries. But we've said it before. What's really the point of having rankings if you're not going to use them, particularly when you only have 5 ranked fighters apart from the champion, Angela Lee, and you only choose 3 of them to go into your Grand Prix. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on the side.
Yeah, there they are, the 8. We got Ham Shohei. They finally confirmed that. And then we've got Stamp Fairtex, got Ritu Fogat, Denise Zambawanga, Itsuki Hirata, Elise Anderson from Invicta, I believe they picked her up from. And then Alyona Rasahena. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm not sure I did. I missed that fight when I was in the hospital, so you'll have to tell me how good she is, Chris, because, yeah, that was a controversial one. She tapped out Stamp Fairtex in the last 10 seconds, I think. And, I think I forgot to mention Mengbo is also there, you can see. But do you think she's in there now because she beat Stamp? Maybe there was someone else who was ahead of her, but they thought, well, because she's beaten Stamp, we've got to put her in. And that maybe means one of Vivi, Mei Yamaguchi, and Lin Hee Quinn have dropped out. As you were saying, those 2 are ranked in the top 5 and 1. So for some reason, it's a bit strange they are not included.
Yeah, I had a lot of people, particularly Drake Riggs on Twitter, he was saying to me, and one of the reasons he thinks it could be with Mei Yamaguchi is that with Mei having 2 losses against Angela Lee, they don't want her to win the Grand Prix and have to fight Angela Lee and lose again.
Yes, that's true. We can harp on about it. Go ahead.
I think definitely with Alonia, be interesting to see if they do a rematch straight away with Stamp in the quarterfinals, or they put them on different sides of the draw.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought of it that way. I mean, if they want to have an instant rematch, why not do it in this tournament? That's a great idea. Yeah, there you can see. I think the big headline as well, which is maybe been buried a little bit, is that the winner is going to fight Angela Lee, of course, still, but that is in November. So someone's got to win 3 fights from May 28th and then be ready for Angela in November. That's 4 fights in the space of half a year. That's crazy, right?
Yeah. I just can't really wait to see the draw for this. But yeah, it is going to be a non-stop fight after fight after fight for these girls because, as you said, to have 4 fights in such a small period of time is going to be really, really tough. And I imagine some people may drop out through injury or timing issues. So I guess you can have Lin Hechin and Mei Yamaguchi waiting in the sidelines. Maybe when they get to the semi-finals, they can have an alternate fight in case one of them has to pop in.
Jasmine, are you with us finally?
I hope so.
Yeah, sounds good. How you been? First of all, I forgot to ask, how are you doing, guys? Chris, I think I asked Chris.
Who cares about what Chris
What's up,
feels?
Jasmine? I care about what Chris feels.
I'm doing all right. I am not good at math, so I calculated the time difference differently, and I realized what time it was when I got out of the shower. So
That's okay.
immediately ran. I was like, "Oh shit! Wait, now it's 1 o'clock."
I mean, I thought I was late, but I should have said this. We're going live in 15 minutes or something. I did text you at 1 minute before we went live.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
My bad. But anyway, give us, Jasmine, your quick, immediate thoughts and reaction after the announcement of the atomweight Grand Prix competitors. I know you had a few things to say to me.
I have many
and a few things to say on Twitter. Yeah,
and
the floor is yours.
Well, first and foremost, it is an absolute robbery to Mei Yamaguchi, and I absolutely not just because I have a bias for Mei, but because she is like my absolute most favorite female fighter of all time. But also she's ranked, and although at the same time you can also say, where's Hechin? And like, if you want to play ranked, you have Denise there, you have Stamp there, who lost her last fight, even though she insists that it's not. So I feel like the thing with the Rasonia might be a setup for a rematch. It might even end up being that they get grouped first. So like, if they want to put a Japanese fighter, I don't know why they didn't put Yamaguchi in there. But like, she is one championship like fodder right there. She's a Japanese sweetheart. Everyone in Japanese MMA knows her, and just she hasn't had a fight in ages as well. And I do believe that at least one of the fights against Angela Lee was a fluke. So this would have been a great way to prove one way or another, you know?
Yeah, absolutely agree with you.
Also, where's
Yep, go ahead, sorry. Yeah,
where's
John
Gian?
KL was just asking, where's Gian?
Yeah,
what's up,
exactly.
John?
Where's Gian? I mean, I know why she's not on there. It's because Malaysia's not a big market for the. Yeah, John's just mentioned that now. Malaysia's not a big market. They're not even bothering pushing the market. I say from experience behind the scenes, and it's a bit of a shame because Jihin's such a big prospect, and I know it's just a marketing thing, which is why Ritu's in there, not Jihin. And that is what I have to say in the last rant.
It's all right. It's therapeutic. Get it off your chest. Yeah, Chris, do you agree with Jasmine on some of those points? Do you think Jihin Radzawan should be in this? Anyone else you think was unfairly treated and had a shout maybe to get in and has been left out in the cold?
Yeah, I agree with Jihin. I think they have got a decent group of women to go there. I think really there's 4 of the women who are actually in the Grand Prix, really, that straight away on paper. I think it's just between those 4, and it really depends how the bracket falls. I feel Menbo, Ham, Harata, and Zambonga probably have the most complete games there. They're the only totally complete mixed martial artists there. I mean, Stamp versus Ritu would be really interesting. Like, take us back to the early 2000s and have a pure wrestler versus a pure striker, which could be quite interesting. But I do really think as if they've chosen kind of the markets they like. 7 markets they like, and they've tried to get a star from each one. And then, but I have to agree with John KL in the comments. This is no way finishing this year, this Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get to all these comments and questions.
Remind me again, when did they say that the finals were going to be? Is it in end of the year?
Well, they've just said May 28th is the first round. Presumably they'll get 4 fights in then. But if they're going to have Angela fight the winner in November, like Chatri said in the post, that means two women are going to have to fight 4 times in the space of 6 months, which is madness.
Yeah. So I think it is definitely a big marketing ploy, just in general, seeing how they've stacked everything up. They've everyone's from a different country. Stamp is Thai darling. Ritu, they're really trying to push. I have to say I'm not familiar with the American bird. Elisa, is her name? No.
Elisa Anderson. Yeah, I wasn't too familiar either, but I had a quick look. I think she's 5-1.
Invicta.
Invicta,
right,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I wish I could have more time to watch Invicta, because that's just that's something that
there's so many promotions. No one watches all of them. Well, some people do.
Yeah, but I mean,
I do not watch
Invicta being the like WMMA thing is like is sort of important.
Well, yeah.
But it's just
I haven't seen it either. I haven't seen her fight.
This is the worst country in the world to watch a lot of American promotions.
Georgia.
Yeah. Also, I do have to say to John that the background is the only plain one that I have in this room. So it's either that or I get bright yellow.
So you're not under oath. You're not being.
Well, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, and then you guys can decide which background is better.
Okay. Well, why don't I go through?
Table over.
I'll look at some comments from everyone. Yeah, Peter Lee was saying, why no Lynn and May in the Grand Prix, and who is Elise Anderson? Yeah, why don't we just talk about that, Chris? You probably know a little bit more than Jasmine and myself about Elise Anderson. Do you feel they've just randomly shoehorned in an American for the sake of it because they wanted to obviously appeal to that side of the world? They're starting up their shows on TNT. Makes sense, right? Or does she deserve it on merit?
Yeah, it is hard. I mean, probably she deserves it more on merit than, say, Stamp or Ritu, because she's faced a much higher caliber of opponent. She's got a fairly decent record. She's only got 1 loss on there. Only 3 fights in Invicta, though. The rest outside that were regional promotions. So it really is hard to say how good she's going to do. But definitely having someone there who's 100% fluent in English will be able to be on one of those TNT cards, will be able to maybe talk trash, will be able to connect with the American audience. It's definitely a possibility. I never really heard of her until last night. This morning, I got my laptop out and watched, I think, 2 of her fights in Invicta. One with a win by a submission, a really fun split decision. She lost a very close split decision as well. She is pretty entertaining. It seems her and Invicta must have parted ways. And you know what? We do need a bit more women in one championship. This division has got even bigger. They're rounding out now. So really, when we get this Grand Prix done, this division probably could have a proper top 10, top 12 rankings, which, we will have some idea of who's ranked where.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Chris. I'm going to just keep going through some comments. Arthur Antonio Nguyen saying they want to fight from each different country. I think that's why they are investing in Hirata instead of Yamaguchi. Yeah,
that doesn't
guys, what do we think of this one fighter from each country gimmick? Do they need to do it, Jasmine? Is it just some strange marketing ploy? It doesn't really appeal to me in that way.
I definitely think it's some strange marketing ploy. I mean, this is the third. Well, in terms of MMA, this is the third Grand Prix, and they didn't do this for the other two. So why are they doing this for atomweight, the women's atomweight?
It seems pointless to me.
Yeah, it's definitely pointless. But I mean, they think that it might be a useful thing to do. I guess it shows which markets they want to try and get into. So I think I was talking to Darcy on the FANATICS MMA app week, and we were talking about markets, and I don't necessarily think that One Championship's trying to get into Ukraine or Eastern Europe because of Rasonia, but because I guess she is sort of a big name within WMMA, especially that she's gone up against Ham before. I think they might be setting that up as well. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of different stories here, actually.
Yeah, we can bitch and moan all we want, but that's the 8 fighters they picked. So let's just roll with it and enjoy it. WMAC now pointing out Elise Anderson as a veteran, of course, of Invicta, 5-1, as we're saying, and she has a win by flying triangle. That's cool.
One thing I'd just like to add to that when we talk about the different countries, the only thing is, if you would have added Lin Hichin and Mei Yamaguchi, you could have had an all-Japanese quarterfinal, an all-Chinese quarterfinal, and guaranteed both those countries a place in the semi-final. So, you'd probably say, pretty much, we all know it's One Championship want US, China, and Japan, and those top 3 markets they're really, really trying to crack, because Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, to an extent, they've already established themselves fairly well. But they really want those big 3 rich markets as well.
Yeah, it seems to me, I'm sure a few people have said this in the comments as well, that they see Hirata as the future for them in Japan, and Yamaguchi as the past. And yeah, it sucks for May. I think May deserves it on merit. And should we be doing this on merit, guys? I think so. At least have some qualifiers that, if you want to push the new stars, as Chris says, have an All Japan qualifier, Hirata v Yamaguchi. Tell Hirata, okay, you want to be the new Japanese star, you're gonna have to beat me. That would be cool. They're not doing it.
Yeah, and they could totally do that on Road to One, because they've been pushing that out for quite some time. And I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing until I was looking up what Aoki Nakashima. And I was like, oh, wait, Aoki hasn't fought on One Championship for a while. He might have ring rust. Oh, shit. But turns out that he's been fighting in Road to One. So no ring rust there. He took the win, which I'm happy about. And it's just, they could have used that as a platform for like the best Japanese fighter,
Well, Adam H. What's up, Adam? Saying they love the country focus. Other organizations don't announce the country they rep in pre-fight announcements. There's a bunch of comments here. I hope we try and get to them all.
Why they do that, though. I know why they do that in One. They do that in One because it is it started off as an Asian-focused MMA promotion. Now they're like spreading their wings everywhere. But they're doing it to show that Asia and Asian countries can produce top-tier fighters, and it's not just MMA, but it's also kickboxing and Muay Thai that they're promoting through it as well, just showing that like Asia does have top tier caliber fighters, and that's just the whole thing, and they've just stuck with it. Well, I feel like it's good, to be honest. Good marketing.
Don't mind it, but
yeah.
Anyway, I've got to get through some of these comments. Sorry, guys, and questions. Hopefully, I'll get to all of them.
Arthur was asking.
Sorry, we're going with. Sorry, So are we going with Shohei Handley winning the Grand Prix? Any dark horses you guys are looking at? Why don't we answer that one? Chris, who's your favorite? Who do you think could be dark horse?
Well, look, ideally, if they're doing the Grand Prix, if they were doing a draw, I'd like it to be seeded. I think it's quite obvious. I mentioned it earlier. The top 4 seeds probably would have to be, not in any order, Mengbo, Ham, Hirata, and Zamboanga. I think, yeah, by easily. I mean, Ritu is still coming up and still primarily a wrestler. Same with Stamp up from Muay Thai. Sonia does have that win over Stamp, but we haven't seen much of her in the organization. And, Elise Anderson, sorry, has done fairly well in Invicta, 2-1. But, when you look at compare them to someone like Ham, who's got 30 fights, and they're coming in with 6, there is a big, big gap. So probably is going to be one out of those 4. Hopefully they can keep those 4 separated until the semi-finals. But, there is a few people there. I don't want to name any names, but just everything that Ham does do, it's going to be so hard for someone like Arito or Stamp to be able to handle her, I think, because she's just so complete as a fighter.
Didn't you say you didn't want to name names?
Oh, well, yeah. I named Ritu, but I just, yeah, I mean, I feel like Ham can handle Ritu's wrestling, but can Ritu's stand-up is nowhere in comparison to Ham Delay, is it?
She's got no experience. Well, I mean, she's got some experience, but definitely not enough to be in something like this against all these ladies, for sure. I do agree with that. But about dark horses, I don't know. I definitely do think that Ham is going to be on top, and everyone's going to want to see Denise come on top, because they basically started this Grand Prix thing because of Denise freaking out about Angela's pregnancy. I'm bringing that up again because Nick decided to make that a drama.
I didn't make it a drama. It was already drama. I just did my job, reported the facts as a journalist. Anyway, Erga V saying May and Jihin should be in the Grand Prix. WTF is the matchmaker, thinking. Arthur saying tournament is to push undefeated prospects like Ritu, Tsuki, and Denise.
It's the wrong tournament to do it for.
Yeah. Here we go. Sorry, so many comments. I'm just trying to get through a few of them before we can keep talking about it. Nguyen v Radzun has been rendered completely pointless then. Ritu's been fed with a lot of gimmies, says Migs de la Cruz. Arthur thinks Ham is the favorite.
Definitely.
A lot of debate here, guys. Let us know in the comments who you think your favorite is and things like that.
And Chris has dropped out.
Okay. WMMAC now saying, in marketing terms, this Grand Prix is a good distraction from Angela only having 1 title defense in over 2 years. Chris is back.
Shh, don't say that. Oh my gosh.
Grand Prix
Don't
brings
give away the
life
secret
to the division, says Arthur.
I don't know
Cedric
about
is
bringing
excited.
life into the division, though, because that's the one and only women's division that they have. You don't see, like, where's Colby? She's in flyweight kickboxing, I think, that she tried to get into. Like, where's Colby in flyweight? Where's there's no one else to even talk about, but there's no other women's division except for atomweight. So that's a bit of a strange comment there. Sorry, Arthur.
I feel it. Yeah, it was already the best women's division by far they had, obviously. But I can see what he means. Maybe more life into it. There was life before. I would agree. Cedric is excited for tomorrow. Yeah, we'll talk about Fist of Fury a bit later. We're going to preview everything. Adam surprised Jihin didn't get in. I imagine the fights will be seeded and placed rather than random draw. Allows one to control the matchup, says WMMAC now.
Yeah, 100%. Agreed.
Yeah. Give a like to the video, guys, says Luke. Indeed.
Thanks,
like
Luke.
and subscribe. Chris,
Follow us
I
on Twitch.
haven't
if
had
you're
you
on
for
Twitch.
so long. I want a full-on Chris sell. I want you to pitch a full like
Give
and
him the-
subscribe.
Where you guys been? What do you want to know about MMA? Do you want to know what's happening in one championship? PFL, the UFC. But there's only one place to find out: on Twitter, on Instagram, but most importantly, right here on YouTube with Nicholas Atkin, John Yonko, Jasmine Blades, all the guys. Press the bell icon, like, subscribe, give us a follow. The more content we can do, we want to give you everything we can: interviews, predictions, picks. We want to big up our guys, Fanatics. Big it all up, like, subscribe. We want to get to 20,000 subscribers by the end of May, so let's really push for that.
Indeed,
What do we
Chris
want
says
now?
it better than anyone.
He does.
I'll have to get him to big up Fanatics as well a bit later when we do the preview. Migs says I'm the reason for the Grand Prix. I don't think I caused this. I mean, was it that bad of me to? Angela said something. Denise said something. I'm caught in the middle.
Yeah,
One championship
you're just
was
doing your job as
doing my job.
an MMA journal.
Well, you
know,
can thank me later, guys.
You know what will be so rough about this Grand Prix would be if Denise was to get to the final and then lose and miss out on that title shot after winning another 2 more fights in a row. Because she really, really, really pretty much does deserve this title shot, in all honesty.
Yeah, Denise.
Can I bring up that comment about that Arthur said real quick? I'm just gonna click it. Thanks.
Yeah,
Sorry. I have control. I mean,
use it wisely, young Padawan.
So, all right, about this, right? If they, atomweight is brought up a lot more than strawweight. So, if there's any division that they need to bring back to life, it is strawweight. But I just thought about this. If they really wanted to push this hard in terms of everyone fighting for their spot against Angela Lee, this is a question posted to both of you. Do you think that they should have put Panda in?
Oh, I forgot about her. Yeah. She's arguably got a really strong case to be in that tournament, I think. But yeah, Chris, why don't you think she's in it?
I think, to tell you the truth, I just don't think one want both of their women's champions out for an extended period of time. It's a bit sad to say, but if I had to guess, it's probably something to do with that. And let's be fair, Panda probably needs to fight Michelle Nicolini. Angela Lee probably needs to fight Michelle Nicolini again.
But that's on strawweight. But why didn't they bring her back down to atomweight? That's the...
I just don't think they want to have both the no women champions, no women championship fights in the mixed martial arts side of thing for a year. Because Panda fought, what, November, was it? Or was that inside the Matrix just at the end of October?
Tio.
October, yeah.
October on there, yeah.
I guess also Meng Bo's in it. And yeah, they don't want more than one woman from any country for some reason. So China's already covered, and I think they do want to push Meng Bo as much as they can. They're riding that whole she beat the only woman to beat Zhang Weili hype train. Why wouldn't you ride that? That's a pretty impressive thing to have achieved. So
they haven't started doing that though. Quite interestingly,
I don't
know. They haven't pushed that that side of marketing.
But
it's literally been pushed to me by PRs before.
If you ever read anything about Meng Bo in Bloody Elbow or any other organization out there, they always do try to throw in that win against Zhang Weili. I think
that was like ages ago, and they were both debuting. That's so weird. If you really want to like promo it, and this is never going to happen because UFC 1 is never going to cross over, but that should like once and for all show who's the better lady.
Yeah, and it was a split decision in a 2-round fight, so we can't really look into it too much.
I wouldn't hold out hope for the rematch ever happening.
No way.
We'll just have to leave it in the past, I think. But more questions, more comments. Arthur here saying Denise is probably going to fight Meng Bo in the first round since they have been bickering on social media. Oh, have they? I missed that. What have they been saying? Fill us in, Arthur. I did not see that. I obviously know that
Was
Denise was bickering with Angela on social media back in the
even though
summer.
she lost, like she missed weight. I'm still like,
Oh, was it about missing weight at the last fight?
no one ever brought that up again. It was about it's just the marketing thing that they made her do for her last fight, where she basically talked shit about like Angela, and she thinks that she's better than Angela. That whole thing. But
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, then she missed weight, and then everyone seemed to have forgotten that.
There was a really bad translator on that call, I remember.
They
A lot of
don't really
people
have the best of
commented.
translators.
It's not an easy job. Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I understand. But
Especially in
I
real
mean,
time.
it's not that it's not easy, it's that they're not really bothering to find good ones. I mean, the fact that I barely speak Chinese and I know that a lot of the like the meaning has been taken away, and I mean, I speak Malay, which is very similar to Indonesian, and every time that they talk to what's her face from Indonesia, I just know that they're missing out so much. Priscilla, yeah, that's her name. It's crazy. Like, invest in good translators.
seems to
That's
be
what
a
they like to
problem in
do.
MMA. I remember when I was in Busan for UFC just over a year ago, a lot of people were commenting on the Korean translator as well being useless. But
I don't know if he's
hey,
actually a translator though. He just might have been the only person who speaks both languages. And the thing about that is that you really have to pay attention if you want to translate properly. So
it's probably
that's why.
someone with a side gig who has another job entirely in one and in UFC, and they are kind of just dragged in to do that.
Yeah, and I know they do that with the Japanese ones because there's I've seen a couple of times they've had like two people, or well, one guy is from marketing, and then I know that I can't remember where the other girl is from. I think she actually might be in marketing as well. They normally drag them in for Japanese translating, and
Well,
then
when
sometimes we see Pia come in
we've
for
seen Quang, haven't we?
Filipino.
Quang from PR team translates for the Thai fighters sometimes in the ring.
Yeah,
It's always good
and
fun.
Pauline for the Filipinos.
Yeah, Pauline definitely steps in Manila a few times and
Because I
everywhere
do
else.
know the UFC usually they ask the host broadcaster sometimes to provide the translator, because sometimes in China it's someone from CCTV or etc.
I
etc. So I think it just
Isn't it sometimes that they
make it
bring in
happen by
like there's
region.
one person in the fighter's team that speaks English, and then they bring that person in?
I thought that was just to speak to the ref.
I thought that was to translate as well. I think was it someone recently? I can't remember. Someone had their team member like
Yeah,
translate for them.
you can go through a team member, but they will provide a translator as well. Which generally, if you're in a foreign country, they will get one from the host broadcaster. Yeah, actually, I just want to pick up one of Arthur's comments there. That Grand Prix hardly ever goes smoothly, but this can go one or two ways. It can
Sorry.
be the flyweight one championship Grand Prix, which was pretty smooth apart from Reese McLaren going back into the semi-finals, or the lightweight Grand Prix, which is just an absolute mess and pretty much can't even be described in a tournament bracket if you try and write it down.
No, I still have feelings about that as well. Like, even if they couldn't fight then and there, they could have just waited until the fighter recovered rather than pushed another fighter on there. Because I feel like that just destroys the whole point of a Grand Prix. Like, just the lightweight one was so weird as well. Just you're fighting against all these people to fight the champion, and then in the finals you're fighting the champion, but not even for the championship belt.
It was a complete mess. Yeah.
That was that what?
It was an utter mess, that one. I wish they'd just waited and just stopped
So
and not rushed it.
impatient.
But they wanted to have it on the Tokyo Century card, obviously. I hope, but this is another problem, guys, isn't it? If someone falls out in this tournament, they're gonna have to go to a Yamaguchi or Lin, someone, because they have a schedule. They've dangled that thing. The prize is you're gonna fight Angela Lee, and Angela's not gonna want to sit out another year again. She's already been out
She
for
might have
a
to.
long time.
There was a comment by Jesus somewhere that I'm glad that he's brought it up, but I don't know if I can find it. Keep going. I'll see if I can look it up.
Yeah. What I'm saying, sorry, is that they have a schedule they're going to have to keep, so they're going to rush this again, and we do have a high potential, in my opinion, of this Grand Prix maybe being a bit scattergun all over the shop like the lightweight Grand Prix was. If there are injuries or COVID positives or people don't make weight, things like that, it could end up, Chris, as being a complete disaster again, or am I just being too pessimistic?
It could be a complete disaster. I think that's what really happened with that lightweight Grand Prix, is because they wanted the final on that 1 Century card in Tokyo, in Japan. They were just set on that date, and that's why it's just an absolute mess. I mean, look, even if May and Lin Hechin were to fight each other, go at it as an alternate in the semi-finals. If the Grand Prix is going a bit slowly, maybe you give Angela Lee one of them as a fight, as a comeback fight, put the belt on the line, but then if Angela Lee loses, she doesn't get an immediate rematch because the winner has to fight that Grand Prix champion. Because let's be honest, this Grand Prix, is this going to be on the One Championship on TNT cards, or are we still unsure?
There hasn't been a confirmation. The date of May 28, when they say it's going to start, falls outside of the 4-1 on TNT cards they have announced. But as I think Jasmin was speculating in the group in FANATICS app, maybe they're going to announce some more of those cards. It makes sense for one to want to keep being on TNT, provided they make a splash with the initial run. So it may end up being on there. You never know.
I mean, they've got Elise Anderson on there, who's American, so they might want to push that on primetime US TV. So that makes sense in a marketing standpoint. So
yeah, but then I'm like, does anyone know Elise Anderson in America? Like, is she that big?
I guess if you're WMMA focused, then you definitely would.
But it's a pretty small niche
I feel
thing,
like
right?
you might know her more than, say, Colby.
But average MMA fans in America, they know who Eddie Alvarez is and Demetrius Johnson, and that's why
But they're
those
not
two are on
ladies.
that first card. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, why would you put, for marketing reasons, this fight? It doesn't make sense to me that you're gonna do it on TNT just because she's American when no one knows who she is in America. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
Maybe she is a superstar,
she
I don't know.
wasn't in UFC, but I doubt that they would have been able to get anyone from there to jump over. But Invicta is pretty big in terms of WMMA, so anyone who's interested in that, where you're comparing like basically apples and pears. Oh, you're saying DJ and LD Alvarez, but I mean, Elise Anderson isn't on the same caliber as, like, I don't know, everyone I guess knows Meg Anderson now and Angela Hill, but that they're gonna try and push it that way for sure. You gotta know these things.
It seems a little dishonest. They will paint her as like this amazing American superstar, but I think she's one of the real unknowns in the tournament. Is that fair to say, Chris? Some of the other girls have bigger reputations in their own countries.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I mean, the thing that also makes it amazing is when you look at some of the age profile of these fighters. Like Elise is only 26. I mean, Hirata I think is 24. Denise is still in her mid-20s, early 20s. So they've got a lot of young fighters as well that they can really build around for years. And I was just actually trying to think, really, apart from Denise and Ritu, who else really out there out of these girls can really cut a promo in English, because they're the only two that really come to mind. And I mean, if you are live on TNT, you know, you do want, ideally, one of the fighters to be able to speak a bit of English and communicate fully with the audience in America.
Yeah, Arthur
Yeah, but
says,
even then, just no offense, but yeah, hardly any American atomweights. Definitely,
Yeah.
there's not there's barely even a division over there
yeah,
yonder.
slim pickings to pick from. So maybe I'm being too harsh, but then it goes back to, yeah, did we have to have an American fighter in this tournament? Obviously, yes, they do want to go into that market, and it makes sense. So arguments on both sides. John KL saying hopefully May will be fighting in an unofficial alternates bracket.
Yes, I want to see her fight again soon.
Yeah, who else would we put in, guys, if we have an unofficial alternates bracket? Got May, Lin, just by their
May,
ranking.
Lin, Jihin Radwan.
Jihin B Nguyen. I know she's lost again recently, but
B I'm on the fence about. I mean, she still has a lot of potential. She had such an amazing amateur run and not been doing very well in professional, but I feel like in terms of her record, she hasn't been matched up very well. They've been matching her up with quite a lot of like country favorites, I have to say. Like Jihin was a country favorite, Stamp is a country favorite. That was like brutal to watch. And who did she fight recently? Please remind me.
Yeah, those Jihin and Stamp performances as well by B were really, really good, actually. You know, she never got finished by either of them. She did do the whole 3 rounds, which is something. She might just have been a bit a few years too late into the sport, in my opinion, but gotta love her.
Yeah,
always entertaining watching her fight.
You want to bring up that Facebook post, Nick?
I don't know where it is. I will try.
Your Chattery, I think, would be.
I mean, is this? I've seen the one he posted with the announcement. Has he followed that up?
Apparently, according to WMMA scene now, he says he's been announced on Facebook.
Yeah, I just can't see it anywhere. I've only seen the one where he gives the initial competitors.
Maybe in a comment. So clarify.
Yeah, if you let us know where you saw that someone, I'll try and find it, but I can't see it. I'm just scanning it now. But yeah, I'll take your word for it. If there are 4 alternates, let's say Jihin, May, Lin, and one more. Who do we go for, guys?
No, see, I thought so.
Okay, yeah, it was a response to someone's comment. It says
maybe someone talked about May or Jihin or Lin not being on the thing.
Well, on the side though, I'm going to try and get Chatri for an interview. Before all this happened, I had tried to line him up to talk about The Apprentice, but now this obviously a lot more interesting stuff has happened. So maybe I'll ask
him. So they're not showing that on YouTube until later. That it's only on AXN first.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about The Apprentice, but maybe we'll do it. We'll just finish this Grand Prix chatter first, and then do the Shinya stuff. Because I did actually see something interesting about The Apprentice I wanted to talk about. But well, yeah, sorry. Do we have someone? Who's our 4th? One Championship UK saying Panda. Chris, who do you think?
No, I don't think. Why tie her up in a Grand Prix? I mean, most likely it'll be those 3 names, and I think they might just sign someone else. And they'll probably throw in someone from another country as well. So that they've got 4 people from 4 different countries in the alternate bracket. And then I guess once your alternate bracket's done, if everything does go smoothly, the winner of that can maybe fight the loser of the Grand Prix final. So then we already have a number 1 contender after the Grand Prix, and Angela Lee have fought. But it's no way happening this year. If I had to gamble on it, I reckon it'll be about this time next year. At the earliest, we'll see the Grand Prix finish. I mean, if you do look at Bellator, they plan for their Grand Prix to last 1 year.
Yeah.
So one championship are really trying to do something in 8 months, is it? Roughly?
It's crazy. They won't. It'll go to next year, surely, right?
100%. And with that note, I found Jesus's comment.
Oh, JHK has told us who the alternates are, apparently.
weird. But yeah, so like it's definitely not gonna. Oh yeah, Gina is a good one. It's definitely not gonna happen end of the year. I don't think so. And as the resident lady of this group, I do have to say that we don't know how she's going to be post pregnancy, Angela Lee. So we don't know if she's actually going to be ready. We can be hopeful as much as possible that she will be back in fighting form as soon as possible. But you never know, man. Women's body,
Yeah, 7 months.
hormones, and all that is crazy.
7 months is
Speaking
not a
from
very long
experience.
time. And the thing is you can look at professional athletes from other sports, football. I know it's not the same because obviously this is more physical, but you can look at football, tennis, and you can get top football, tennis players who can come back 3 months and be top level after giving birth. And a player who's just as good as them, it can take them over a year and a half to get back from it. So it's just one of them. Just because they're all athletes, everyone has different bodies, everyone has different hormones, and you know, touch wood. I never wish it on anyone, but there can always be complications, problems, etc., etc. You know,
Yeah, you never know.
life doesn't
I mean,
always go
I'm-
smoothly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, exactly.
C-section,
She has
Adam
a-
says, could have 3 months minimum before she can
Has she
exercise.
been
I did speak to
posting-
her yesterday when she said she's itching to get back in there, and you know she's still hitting mitts, things like that. I was going to write an article on it, but the news from last night seems to have trumped it all that, and
I'm taking over that one though.
yeah.
Has she been posting like baby update photos that most other like women celebrities would do?
She's been putting loads of pictures, yes, of her
Ultrasounds
baby
and all that.
bump and all that, and
Oh, there's
I'm
there's
sure.
no ultrasound. So like we're not even 100% sure. I mean, she is showing that she's on the pads and everything, but we don't actually know if that's just for yeah, but Mackenzie's no, I mean, follow up with the next comment that it really depends on the person, but she could be doing this just to show that she's fine, but we don't actually know anything behind the scenes, so we don't know what she's going to be doing.
Just to
Well,
quickly
I'm
reply to
pretty
John's
sure
comment.
that
Not how many
you would
doctors in the
know.
chat, also how many women in the chat. Sorry,
Yeah.
get back to work, Jasmine.
None,
I am the
maybe.
only woman. I'm the only woman, not even on the chat. I'm on this video.
Yeah.
But you know, John has a baby little girl. I think
true.
is it a baby girl? I mean,
Not
you would
baby. I
know
don't know.
how like
Tell us,
your
John.
wife's recovery would have been. Like some people it's easy, some people it's not. Like I have a nephew and my best friend has 2 kids, and like first pregnancy was different than the other one. Oh shit, Adam's a health professional.
Yeah, Adam is putting us right.
Oh,
Adam is allowed to, and
Adam is
Debbie in the
flexing.
nation now plays a doctor on TV. Okay.
Yeah. He's probably put on his face mask and a stethoscope on now.
Yeah. And I'm
there
allowed
was
to
a
talk shit
point.
because I'm a woman.
John said the 4 alternates reserves are Radzu and May, Gina Inyong, and Lin Hikin. I don't know if that's just John's
I haven't
speculation or
seen
whether he
Gina in a
knows.
very long time though.
Yeah, Gina's a good idea, I think, as well. We didn't actually think of her, did we, guys?
No,
but I mean that's mostly because I haven't seen her in a while.
Well, she's been pregnant, I think. Am I right?
yeah, it says I'm 14 over a year, is it?
Yeah.
And also, isn't Gina? I don't know the problem with her with a Grand Prix. Isn't Gina just one of those? I don't know. I might be wrong what I'm going to say, but I think she always fights in the Philippines, doesn't she? Generally.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got some other stuff to talk about. Maybe we talked enough about the Grand Prix. Someone did ask us to go switch topics to Sage and Aoki, and that was the plan. One of the ideas I wanted to talk about, guys. So,
as you can see in the ticker.
Yeah, as you can see in the ticker, it is there. Shinya Aoki, the Japanese legend, is gonna fight Sage Northcutt. Sage has been out for nearly 2 years after a horror KO, 29 seconds against Cosmo Alessandre, which required it was a one-punch knockout in Singapore. Sage's one championship debut required 9-hour surgery on 8 facial fractures. He wasn't able to train for over a year. And then he wanted to drop down 2 weight classes. He's now decided 1 weight class drop down is enough. But how do we like this matchup, guys? I think it's not. I wouldn't have made this match if I'm one championship.
No
I
way.
would give someone.
I mean,
I think
you
an easy
just
fight
saw
to
what
get a win.
Aoki did to Nakashima. You saw what Aoki did to Nakashima, and like, you should have given Sage someone else, and especially because he's dropped or gone up to lightweight. Just it's so weird. It will be his second fight in one, and first fight he goes up against a beast of a guy who basically looks like twice the size of Sage, and Sage is quite hench.
Sage is lean, but
I mean, like in terms of just and then he's going to lightweight, and then you put him up against like the legend Shinya Aoki. What is wrong with you? But also just remember that Sage has to agree to it in order to fight. So he agreed to Cosmo Alexander, though a lot of people were thinking it's Papa Northcutt who said yes. And he would have had to agree to this as well. So I don't know. What do you
obviously
think, Chris?
sees something in his. He sees some way to victory, and his coaching team does, and he said Uriah Faber's going to be in his corner. It looks like they must see a path to victory against Shinya. But do you see it, Chris? Do you think Sage has a chance? That's a tough ask for me.
You know what? Sage, he's had 15 fights now in his pro career. He turned professional 7 years ago when he made his debut. About 2 or 3 years after that, he joined the UFC. He's still learning his craft. He's 24 years old, which really does make you realize how young he is. You know, been fighting since 17. You know, Angeli's going to step in on Friday at 16, but only 1 year's difference. He's only going to be, I think, 2 or 3 centimeters taller than Shinya Aoki. And look, if you looked all over social media, Joe Rogan, Brendan Schaub, Chael's son, and everyone was criticizing one championship because they were like, you've got a good, young, athletic guy, and you're putting him against someone who's so much more experienced than him in the striking department. And look what you did to his face. And you made him have 2 years of his career out. And it seems like one championship have said, okay, let's not give him someone who's super experienced in the striking department, but the grappling department is no problem at all. It just seems like, wow, I mean, try and build this young kid up. I know, like, some of these women in the leagues are super young, but, you know, after that, you're going to give him a legend of the game. I mean, in all honesty, probably the best Japanese MMA practitioner of the last decade, of the last 15 years. I mean, there's very few you can compare him to until you go back all the way to Pride. So yeah, it just seems like it's a really, really tough ask for Sage. I even had some friends who were saying, I think maybe just because Shinya's Japanese, they're like, isn't Sage going to tower over him? But no, there's only 2-3 centimeters between them. And if you look at what Mickey Gall did against Sage Northcutt when he submitted him fairly easily and showed Sage at that point didn't totally know what he was doing on the ground. I mean, Shinya is so much more experienced even than someone like a Mickey Gall. It's going to be a really, really, really hard fight for him. And I know some people are saying names like Folayang, Nakashima, Boyce. I wouldn't even give him a name like that. I think coming back after such a long layoff, he needs someone from Egyptian top team. Can't we give him an Egyptian top team? Yeah. Can't we look out for Sage? Can't we? I mean, the difference is Eddie and DJ are towards the end of their career. If they lose, they want to fight a top person straight away. It's the same if Vito ever fights, or some of these guys coming over to the heavyweight division, etc., etc. John John Lineker is not as old as the other two guys, but he's getting there. So they want to get straight to the top. While Sage, like, he doesn't have to go through all this right now. He can have a few easy fights, Egyptian top team, fight some good regional guys, some top. If he wins the belt at 28 and 4 years later, he's got to where he wants to get. I don't understand why we're trying to push this and rush this. It just seems, I mean, you know, we're not going to, you know, it'd be like if Ritu gets ham in the first round of this Grand Prix. What's it really proven? Not to disrespect Ritu's abilities, but you guys can see where I'm coming from.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't agree on the Nakashima point. I feel like just because that Sage's lost his last fight and Nakashima's lost his last fight, I feel like that's a fair one to give. Don't know about both. Caruso maybe, just adding to Mick's comment, but definitely should have given him an Egyptian top team guy. Or at least someone with a similar record, or coming from a similar record. It makes you wonder, really, because they're trying to push the American thing really hard, but then they're making such matching like mess ups like this. Trying not to swear, but.
Thank you.
It's weird. It's weird. That's going to be on the TNT thing, right?
Yeah.
That one will be on TNT. One on TNT 4.
Yep.
April 29 in Asia, 28 in America.
Why would you put a matchup that you don't even know he's going to win?
It makes no sense to me. It's like, it's not hard to market Sage Northcutt. He looks like an action figure. Just get him a few easy wins first, make him look good. Then we'll see, you know, we'll push him a little bit higher. We'll see what happens, what he's made of. I did want to talk about some of his comments as well. He did a really good interview with Ariel Helwani. As bitter and jealous as I was that I didn't get the exclusive, Ariel did an amazing job.
I told you why.
Well, we know why. He got it because
everyone knows why.
Yeah, I mean, ESPN. It's ESPN MMA. It's exposing one to a much bigger audience than they normally get exposed to, I think, through people like us and some of the other outlets that cover them. So entirely fair play to them. But I just want to say Ariel did a fantastic job. I think he got Sage to open up on that Cosmo fight a little bit more than anyone has since. And maybe that's just because it's 2 years ago nearly now. Maybe it's not so annoying for Sage to talk about. But he said some interesting things, I thought. You know, have you watched it, guys, or should I just highlight it in here?
I haven't watched it yet. I mean, I just woke up.
Fair enough. Yeah. I thought what was interesting, he's saying it was a mistake, yada yada. We've heard that before, but then he says things like Mr. White Dana can say something if he doesn't think I should fight again, but that's not the case. It was one fight. Everyone has an off day or an off night out there, even the top champions of the world. There's guys who lose in 5 seconds, and you're like, what's happened? Not at all was I ever thinking, man, I don't want to get back out there, or I'm afraid. Right off the bat, my coaches know I wanted to get back out there immediately and fight again. You can ask Chatri. He came and checked on me as I was healing. I was like, man, I don't like what happened. I want to go back out there and prove myself. You just got to look at the last fights before that. I was on a 3-fight win streak. I knocked out my last opponent in the UFC. It just happened to be one fight. I had an injury. Everyone gets injured. Sometimes I'll read stuff here or there. Sometimes people have good advice. Sometimes people say something and it makes no sense. You can watch Jose Aldo go and get knocked out by Conor McGregor in 5 seconds. You can be like, oh, Jose Aldo, one of the best of all time. He should retire and never fight again. Do you see what Sage is getting at? Do you agree? Has he got some fair points there? I kind of like what he's saying. It's
I like the points he's saying, and I like the mentality, but it's just going back to that Cosmo matchup. It never, ever made sense. I mean, it's like Israel Adesanya has gone into the UFC and done so well when he's got about 20 MMA fights because he has 100 kickboxing fights before him. Cosmo he had something like 15 mm. He had 60, 80 kickboxing and Muay Thai fights combined beforehand. I mean, it's like Shinya
104,
Aoki is. What
I think.
Shinya Aoki got 50? Has he got 50 fights or 50 wins?
He's
I
got
think he's
over
got
55, I think about 60 fights. Yeah, 49 wins.
49 wins. So it does just
almost
show.
50.
That's it. And it's the same thing. It's like, that's what I'm saying. And he's mentioning Jose Aldo. This was a Jose Aldo who was at the end of a really long 8-year unbeaten streak, been a champion for years. He'd been built up. He'd had his losses. He'd had everything he learned. You know, it'd be different, say, if you're saying, oh, this kid in Brazil who's 23 or 22 is the next Jose Aldo. Let's throw him against Conor McGregor now when he gets knocked out. That's my criticism of it. I have no criticism for Sage fighting or who he's fighting. All I'm just saying is, you know, it's the same with all sports. You know, you can get really good people who are really young in their teens, and okay, they might go and play football or basketball or whatever sport, but they don't play every game of every season for that team. They slowly bed them in, and it's just what you have to do with Sage. You know, I mean, you look, Aoki's from a jiu-jitsu background. How many jiu-jitsu tournaments has he been on top of his MMA career? You know what I mean? Hundreds. So it's just that experience of traveling around the world, doing long flights, getting used to jet lag. Shinya's fought all over the world. He's fought in strange environments where he can't understand the language, where he's had to acclimatize. And that's just something you have to get used to over time. Shinya Aoki, okay, he's got 49 wins, he's got about 60 fights. That means for those 49 times, and some of those times the day's gone wrong, the jet lag's been terrible, he's had an argument with someone, he's feeling down, he's got a bad stuff, something bad has happened on not all of them, but on some of those occasions, and he's had to get over that adversity. And just the more you do it, the better you get it. It's the same with everything. That's it. I love Sage. I love his mentality, but maybe we need someone to save Sage from Sage.
Sammy here saying that wasn't a size issue. It was an experience issue. It was extremely good ring cutting, use of hip feints to eliminate space, exceptional timing by Cosmo. Yeah, I kind of want to just watch it again briefly.
Super quick, I'll add that to my point. Sage had never fought in a ring before. Cosmo, how many times do you think he's fought in a ring? 80 times?
Yeah, he said that on the interview as well. He said the boxing ring thing did kind of throw him off again. It's not that different, but it is that different, isn't it, guys? It's completely different in a way. And this fight's going to be in a cage. He's going to be used to the environment and what goes into a fight week in one championship now. I think probably caught him a little bit off guard, time difference, long flight, things like that. Things are different in one. He's then gone and cornered his sister Colby about 6 months later. So he said that helped him. And do you think, Jasmine, he's going to be a little bit better prepared this time, at least?
I would hope so. Sorry, I was like freaking out because the color of my video just kept changing. I don't know why.
No.
There, it goes again.
It's the background, I think, because it's trying to register it as a blue screen or something.
Maybe.
I can help you through it
anyway,
next time.
I've got your webcam, but I just need to get used to it again. Anyway, he
like
has
a disco.
been out
It's cool.
for a very long time. Yeah, I wonder if it makes a difference if I know that's worse. I do wonder if it will make a difference now that he's been more prepared, but you never really know, do you? Yeah, he's coming from a massive loss, and he's gotten so much time off. It's like it's probably the biggest ring rust we've seen in a while on the cards in terms of like big names. So
yeah, he didn't train a year. I mean, that's gotta have...
exactly.
Oh my days.
I mean, you couldn't, right?
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen that for a while.
I tell you what,
that's brutal.
Shows you the UFC could have done with Olivier Coste to give Cosmo Derek Lewis a good shove on the weekend. Did you see the way he pushed Cosmo then? Like, no hitting him on the floor. I like that by Olivier Coste.
Yeah,
Got to live it.
Olivier's a good referee. Sometimes he gets some
He
shit.
is. Everyone shits on him all the time though, because he talks a lot.
Oh, I like Olivier. I just don't understand, man. Like, this guy is, since the whole quarantine, like, literally the moment the fight's over, he's straight back to France. He must spend months in quarantine.
He lives in Thailand.
He's in France at the moment, isn't he?
Oh, maybe he's gone back.
Doesn't he have a gym in France now?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know he lives in Thailand. He has a gym in Thailand, but maybe it's shut. I am not very on Instagram anymore, so they probably post there. Him, Ian, and Dom are a lot more active on there than MMA Twitter does for sure. So I don't know. We can look it up, I guess.
Yeah, if anyone knows, let us know. I think we do want to preview Fists of Fury as well, so we should jump into that while we can. Otherwise, we'll be here forever. So I haven't made my picks yet. Have you guys? I'm going to bring Fanatics up on the screen.
No, because I didn't want to get scolded again.
I did not scold anyone. I just like live picks, you know.
You scolded me last time.
Sorry.
And did you see what he was saying about you on the UFC preview show? He was scolding you as well for not having your picks in.
I know, and like, oh my gosh, like, calm down. I'm getting there. I've got work to do. You know, girls gotta eat.
Yeah, maybe I was harsh. I'm sorry. It's definitely not this event.
Also, you didn't invite me for that. I'm still hurt.
The UFC preview.
Yeah.
When was that? Oh. Half the time you're asleep, and then it's just the time difference sucks, and I've got to deal with people.
I was willing to wake up at 7:30 in the morning today to get this on.
And can I also just point out to everyone out there, this is just absolutely fantastic. It is just the best app out there for all your MMA knowledge. I like the update they've done. They've made it even better. They've added some quotes by one of the greatest mixed martial artists to ever come out of Hong Kong. They added 2 quotes by Sasha Platnikov to the loading screen, which is absolutely fantastic. They've added more news features. The app itself is just looking cleaner and cleaner by the day. You can get linked straight there to SCMP MMA videos, and they're actually bringing in some of their own writers as well, and some of the content that they have been putting out there has been fantastic. Give them a Pulitzer Prize. One for Nick and one for Fanatics.
I'm trying to load the browser here, so bear with me, guys. Hopefully it works. Fists of Fury. This is a problem. It's not working. I'll have to message James quickly, but Chris, do your thing again. Just promote Fanatics more.
Wow. The thing is, what makes the app so absolutely fantastic is you can create groups, you can chat between yourselves, you can do picks, you can decide just to go purely based on win percentage, you can go against the Vegas bookies, and there's a great feature where you can go triple or nothing on the main event, and you decide the method of victory. Jasmine's shaking her head. She does not like the triple or nothing. I think.
No, I was just reminded of James screwing me over the last time I tried.
Yeah. And if you think you're better than us guys over here at the South China Morning Post, well, you probably are, because right now, Nicholas Atkins ranked number 73rd out of 76. Jasmine Blaze ranked 67. And Chrissy BMMA ranked 65. Coming down from 21st to 65th after a terrible UFC event last weekend. Tom Taylor of Bloody Elbow fame, amongst others, ranked at 61st. And Drake Riggs at the lofty heights of 52. SCMP MMA, hashtag winning.
Question mark?
Yeah. Look, I'm just on the phone, not the phone, I'm on the text to James to try and solve the problem. So maybe we can answer this question quickly.
Mr. Eggface.
Did you guys mention Migu already? For China and the UFC? Yeah, I did an article on it yesterday. I did want to get Chris's thoughts on that. I think you kind of talked about it on Twitter, didn't you, Chris?
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, what does this mean for UFC in China?
The thing is, right, this is going to allow the UFC to operate much more freely. Hopefully, they're going to get a much bigger TV deal over there, ideally on CCTV, because it can allow huge audiences. The problem is with China, it's such a large country. It's like America. And unless you're doing so many events, when they have UFC Fight Night Biloxi or UFC Fight Night Dakota, where they have these in the relatively small towns, is to really get true popularity in China, you'd have to have at least 5 or 6 events in the big cities of Shenzhen, Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou. You'd have to be visiting all of them annually. And then on top of it, you'd have to be visiting the tier 2 cities of a Tianjin, a Foshan, a Hangzhou, a Xi'an, Chongqing. I mean, if you're going to count as China, which me and Nick do because we believe in national security law of Hong Kong, one country, two systems. But they could always host an event in Hong Kong or Macau. Obviously, Macau with its huge spaces with its casinos, or even in the Rogue province of Taiwan.
Well, yeah, it's a big deal. We're going to have to use Tapology, guys, because the Fanatics card is not loading up. And
I would recommend not using Tapology because the card still has not been updated.
Oh yeah, with the Rotang change.
One Championship website.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Let's do that indeed. Events, Fists of Fury. Let's go. Yeah. Normally, here's Paguru.
No, don't do it.
Spam in the chat.
Don't spam Paguru. Gosh, I'm gonna tell you to be quiet.
There we go. Anyway, let's do this preview. Okay, Fists of Fury, One Championship, coming to you live from Singapore Indoor Stadium. The main card starts. We've done 6 fights because they're filming a bunch of other events like usual. They got 3 other cards they're going to put out. So yeah, let's just start. I kind of want to start at the bottom. I know that's not fair play, but let's do it because I'm most interested in this fight actually. Victoria Lee against Sinisa Sarisen. Here you go. I'm gonna add it to the stream. I thought I already had. Okay, let's do it, guys. Normally we use the Fanatics web browser, but it's down today, so I'm gonna go to you each. Who you got? I'll start with you, Jasmine. Who have you got?
Is it really bad that I don't want to go with Victoria, but at the same time I know that they've done this matchup because they want to make her look good on her number 1 professional debut, number 2 debut in One Championship. I have a little I have a note on my MacBook, like on the side there, and I don't know if anyone's seen, but I messed up my fight night predictions, and I actually had predicted that the 2 winners would win the last two fights of the night, but because of peer pressure, I went with the people who ended up losing. So I have this little system going on, and I have a star next to Victoria Lee. So that is what I'm doing.
Okay.
I do have to say that 74% of Fanatics users have gone for Victoria Lee as well. And 26 have gone for Sinisa.
Yeah, let me break down the stats here. I've got the app. It's hard. Yeah, Victoria, this is her debut, 16 years old. So there's not much to go from. Sinisa Sarisen, obviously, she lost to Stamp fairly quickly last summer. Beat Rika Ishige Tiny Doll in November, I think. Not a very great showing either. It feels to me that she is the sacrificial lamb, to make Victoria look strong and to give Victoria a good first win. And I think it's good matchmaking. They want to make Victoria a star right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to have a real showcase here. It's a perfect matchup for her in my eyes. It's a quick quick victory for me. I'm thinking she's going to get a first round ground and pound TKO, something like that. Chris, are you going to go against the prodigy? You're going to go against Team Lee? We know you
You
hate
know what?
Christian Lee, but what
This
about
is
Victoria?
the hardest fight of the year to call. Because you've got one person that we've all seen fight. Then we've got another person that we're not judging on any amateur career. No real much
Nothing.
video. No one's watched much tape on her. And we're literally basing all of this simply on her last name, and that is Lee. I have no idea what to expect. Sunisa, I would assume, being from Thailand, she's going to have very, very good stand-up. We didn't really see that in her last performances. She's been very poor, but I do kind of have to go with Victoria Lee. I'm thinking first round, maybe early second round. Probably a submission as well. I think she's just going to use her advantages there. If I was her, I'd try and stay away from the striking. I think it's going to be a fun matchup. I think we might have a bit of back and forth. If I was Sunisa, the first thing I would be doing is just to push forward, and really try and let Victoria know she is in a fight, because this is the first time in her life she's going to be in a real fight.
Yeah, but
What do you think, Nicholas?
I'm going for Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria all the way.
No way
There's
is
nothing
Sunisa
about what
going to
you're
win
thinking.
this. Absolutely, Victoria Lee is going to win this fight. The only way she may not is if the occasion gets to her, the pressure, the nerves. But as Angela told me in our interview yesterday, they've been through the game plan 1,000 times. They drilled everything. She's been telling Victoria specifically how to deal with those nerves and how to deal with that pressure. There is a huge amount of expertise in that family. They've done this all before so many times. Victoria herself has been around Angela and Christian when they've been fighting, when she was 10 years old and they were 16 or 18 making their debuts. She's had that whole experience. This isn't going to be new to her. She's going to have soaked up all of that, taken that in, those feelings, that environment. I think it'll be a walk in the park for Victoria Lee. And I think One Championship knows exactly what they're doing with this matchmaking, which is why it is annoying when they put Sage Northcutt against Cosmo Alessandre and then Shinya Aoki, because they seem to know how to matchmake when it's Victoria Lee, but not Sage Northcutt.
Or just the Lees in general.
Well, if this fight does go wrong, though, it could look very, very bad on One Championship, because, I mean, I don't think a teenager has ever competed in mixed martial arts with so many eyes on them before.
Good point, Anna. But as James Kendick points out, she's got very good sparring partners, so she'll be fine. Yes, yeah, United MMA in Hawaii, good gym. They are doing something right. I think she'll be fine. And Sunisa, yes, I don't think she looked very good, even in that win over Ishige, right? That was not a great fight. I mean, they cut the commentary on that one. Do you remember, guys? Because
I do not actually.
old Chevello, the voice, I love him, but he was selling it like it was the second coming of Robbie Lawler, the Rory McDonald or something. And it was, I think the decision was made, we cannot have this commentary on this fight because it's clearly a terrible fight and it's not very good.
I feel like I might have not been paying attention to the commentary at all, because I might have been paying attention to you lot.
It was literally, there was no commentary. It was just silent.
Oh, they cut it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, this card has been fixed on Fanatics. So we can now use the browser. So bear with me again. Sorry, guys, for all of the switching around and everything.
So I'm going to switch around the comments, but no, that's the wrong one.
Yes, feel free, please.
Yeah, so I do have to say, Jesus, it's not that I don't like the Lees. I don't like how One Championship are bigging them up as hard as they are, when there are so many other fighters that they can big up as well. And that's really my, I have no I've no like qualms or however you pronounce that word against them.
Qualms.
It's just
Is that
qualms.
right? Yeah. I think
But
I've got
I
it to
just-
work, by the way. So
Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah,
is it up? Oh, it's there. Okay, there it is.
I can
This
click
is
it.
awesome.
That's
Oh,
perfect.
Drake spared his picks.
I do like how James Kendrick said in the chat that Victoria has really good sparring partners, and then a few ones later he said she has Bruno Pucci.
Leave
Yeah.
Poochie Bull alone, please. I love Bruno.
Yeah. No.
I just like the shots. I like the shots fired. I'm not firing no shots. I love Bruno. He's my favorite member of the Lee family, actually.
I love Bruno, and he's just a sweet guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
they're
not
all
sure.
nice people.
Yeah. Victoria
For
is super
sure.
sweet as well.
Yeah, she is. She is. She's very humble.
She's also
very.
16 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, she's very, very grounded. I think she takes a lot after Christian. Who Christian is also very, very humble like that. Not to say Angela isn't, but Angela has that kind of arrogance that I like. A little bit of. She'll do some trash talk. She knows she's good. I think she's got a little bit more of that in her. Not saying she's not humble as well, but Victoria is just slightly different in that regard, and it's interesting to see whether she'll develop some kind of streak like that if she does go and win and beat everyone. So let's see, guys. Jasmine versus Angela. Let's go, says John. Indeed.
Yeah. I don't think I'm good at a stand up though.
Yeah, I don't think it would last very long. Jasmine's got quick hands, I've heard. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've zero ground game, so hopefully she doesn't take it to the ground. I've not been able to go to BJJ.
Just to reply to Drake, in Chatri's mind, I think the Mount Rushmore of MMA is Victoria Lee, Angela Lee, Christian Lee, and Chatri.
But which Chatri? Is it regular Chatri or unacceptable Chatri?
That's the best one.
The one and only unacceptable Chatri.
Unacceptable Chatri. Loving
Love
the
it.
parody.
But I mean, I do also have to add that I am, let's see here, I am way above her weight class. So we we'd either have to make it a catch weight or
Open
she
weight.
would have to go up to bantam.
Yeah.
Apparently,
I think I'm also
James
like quite,
didn't throw
quite
the
a bit taller
shade,
than
by
her.
the way, at Bruno. So I don't know. Did Chris? Did you say he was throwing shade? He was being nice.
It's just how he said that she has loads of good fighters, and then the next thing he did was mention Bruno and that he's a grappler.
You bombed. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I just
Chatri's
bombed.
new phrase, right? On The
Yeah.
Apprentice, which we're going to talk about later after this preview. So
Can
save
I
your
make a
Chatri.
joke?
Yeah, for sure.
So
As long as it's
bring-
PC.
Yeah, well, I mean, I will bring guns, right? But I'll bring these guns. I do have to
There we
say,
There we
I'm quite proud of them. You can't see because it's like -4 degrees now, and it's really cold. There's so much snow outside in Tbilisi today, but you know,
You got that jumper.
I'll definitely bring my guns. Arga.
Well, I've just got to say, Drake, we haven't actually said anything, but Drake's picked Sinisa. Drake is in the chat. I mean, Drake, if you're at a loss that you want to come in and explain that, please log in. I'll give you the link because I think I need to hear this in person. Are you just trolling or what? I'll give you this link on WhatsApp, or you can do it in the comments if you're not, if you're too chicken to say it in person. Here you go. Sent you the link, Drake.
Maybe Drake knows something we all don't. Maybe at some time he's had the opportunity to go over to Mr. Cock and check out Sinisa's fighting style.
Okay, well, there you go. Drake Riggs is a contrarian, says Arthur. He's always picking against favorites.
That's because he knows how to game the system. And that's another thing, guys, that makes MMA Fanatics app the best app out there, because you can go against Vegas. You can be down and out all night, but if you get a big upset, it can turn your whole fortune around.
Well, what were
That's
the
what
odds?
happened to me last month, didn't it?
Yeah, I
Three
mean,
underdogs in a row that shot me up the rankings.
Victoria is the favorite here. No, she's not.
She is.
Is she?
No,
Oh
she's
no,
not.
she's
Denise
underdog.
is minus 120. So that makes it even crazier that Drake's gone with her. Because yeah, if you go Victoria, she's the underdog. You can get more points. But
Yeah.
Drake
Bali
hasn't
MMA
explained himself.
fighters.
He's not turned up. I'm gonna give you a strike there, Jasmine. I got a said the same to Andrew Whitelaw. Everyone needs to leave my buttons alone. I am the
No,
button.
that was a misclick. I
Yeah.
completely didn't like. I was just
Andrew
hovering
Whitelaw
over it.
he felt my wrath clicking buttons during the podcast after the what
I
was it?
try not to click when you're clicking, that's for sure. But Mr.
I
Cock
know.
Jim, Mr. Cook, Jim names.
I know. Just it's
No,
crazy.
I'm just scrolling around. There was a misclick. I'm sorry. Sumimasen.
Okay. It's okay. I
I will
accept.
send you a screenshot of why. Because
okay.
I've got my notes app up with like my stuff on. So when I click off, I will click on to a comment.
It's okay. You can by all means press comments. Just telegraph it to me so that I don't press one at the same time, which I would do. Arthur saying that size advantage seems to be on Victoria Lee's side. She's 4 inches taller. Maybe she can go up to strawweight when she grows up and fills out her frame. Yes, there's going to be a decision made at some point. Either Angela's going up to strawweight or Victoria will, because they'll never fight each other. That's
No
just
way.
never going to happen. So they want to each be a champion, obviously. What do we
And
think
she's
better?
still growing.
Victoria?
She might end up growing quite a lot in the next couple of years. So she
Well,
might even be a lot taller than she is now.
I think she's already taller than Angela. It might be
Yeah,
completely.
Angela's quite short. That's another reason why Angela versus Jasmine wouldn't work. I'm very much taller than her from the number of times that I've walked past her.
Yeah, Angela's not that tall, I think. I can't remember. Oh yeah, I think I'm taller than her and I'm really short. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
have a
definitely
fun
taller
story.
than you.
Yeah. I got in the lift in that hotel at Kuala Lumpur, right? Malaysia, where she fought Nicolini. And I was pretty hungover, so it was fight night. I had my shades on.
Sorry,
And then,
Nick, but your thing is
I
frozen.
know I'm frozen. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing I can do about it right now. But yeah,
Shame.
So I got in the lift. You killed my story, man.
You got in the lift in
No,
which
I'm not even
hotel?
gonna finish it anymore.
Well, I don't want people. How tall is Nick?
5'6", not very tall. That's generous as well.
5'6" with his boots on, maybe.
With my boots on, my Cuban heels.
That wasn't the one where you were in the fancy hotel, right? That was in the other one.
No, in the terrible one, very far away.
It is such a weird hotel.
Anyway, look, what I was gonna say was, she got in the lift with Ken, her dad, right after I did, on the next floor below, and I didn't even realize it was Angela Lee and her dad until like right as they got out, because I was so hungover. And then I was like, oh shit, that probably seemed very rude of me to not even say hello. But yes, I was taller than her, I think. So she is not that tall. That's what I'm saying. That's a roundabout way to say that Victoria Lee may be going up to strawweight eventually. Anyway, we made our picks. Drake's not coming on the show. I'm frozen, but I'm gonna leave it frozen because it's not that unflattering of a
5'4"
freeze frame of
is
me.
Angela, apparently. Yeah.
So I will keep going, and we're gonna do the next fight. Wonder Girl FANATICS against Jackie Bunton. Wonder Girl is the favorite, minus 140. Jackie is plus 135. 81% of people have picked Wonder Girl FANATICS on FANATICS. And she's a heavy favorite with the SCMP MMA group as well. She's obviously the darling of the One Championship strawweight Muay Thai. But Jackie Bunton is looking to cause an upset. I spoke to both of them. Jackie Bunton has been waiting a year and a half for this moment. Chris, Jasmine, can Jackie Bunton cause the upset?
For everything I like about what Jackie Bunton had to say on that wonderful, wonderful interview, she is 20-5. She does look like a very, very solid competitor, but I'm well and truly on the Wonder Girl FANATICS hype train. I love her. I love everything about her. I love her style. I love her energy. And yeah, I only see this going one way. And I'm probably going to say second round knockout. I'll probably go with knockout TKO, but win by finish 100%.
If anyone on the Fanatics is watching the show right now, if Chris gets it wrong, he doesn't get this.
Yeah.
Triple or nothing on Chris all the time.
So I
Boom,
have
pan,
been mispronouncing
pan,
Jackie's
pan.
name to her face.
Boomtown.
That must have endeared me to her, I'm sure. Sorry, Jackie.
Well, I mean, yeah, I find it. Yeah, don't get offended at people mispronouncing your name or misspelling my name, like one's name
I
for
think
sure.
he's just pointing it out, and I'm glad he did. So I'm happy because next time I speak to her, I won't make an idiot of myself. Now that's cool.
No, don't think that you were making an idiot of yourself. You didn't know.
It's fine. Anyway, Chris has made his pick. He's going to Wonder Girl. Are you on the hype train, Jasmine, or are you
I
going to Jackie?
am on the hype train mostly because I have never seen Jackie fight. I don't know how she's like, and one way to find out.
Okay. I'm going for Wonder Girl as well. It's 4 of us there. But I think Jackie Boonton, is that if I pronounced it right, is gonna give Wonder Girl a much tougher fight than she had in her first 2 fights against Brooke Farrell, and I can't remember the other person she fought. Those were 2 very quick wins. I
Casey
think Jackie's
Carlos.
going to be solid opposition for her. A lot of people are saying that as well. So this should be a really great fight as well. But I'm like Chris. Yeah, I'm on the hype train with Wonder Girl. Anyway, Hiroki Akimoto against Zhang Chenglong. Let me load this one up, guys. That's our next fight.
If there's anything that's tough to pick for, I think this for me is tough to pick for because their last fight was up against each other.
Yeah.
Like, and in that previous meeting, Akimoto won. So is Zhang gonna be bouncing back stronger, or is he gonna suffer another loss to the same opponent twice in a row? Who knows? This one's a bit tough for me. My gut would go with Akimoto, but I am not surprised if Zhang gets on top. Also,
Make it
I have
official.
written here a trivia. Apparently, there's an Olympic gymnast with the same name.
That's great to know.
As Hakimoto or Zhang?
Zhang.
Oh, well, Zhang Chenlong, if you know Chenlong is also Jackie Chan's career name, is a screen name. So that's when I first saw it. I was like, oh, Zhang Chenlong is like a Chang Shui Long. So I was looking at it and I was thinking, oh, I wonder if he's a really big Jackie Chan fan because literally Chenlong means to become the dragon.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I rewatched their fight. It was closer than when we watched it live. I rewatched it once, and then I rewatched it again this morning with our fight companion to see the reaction. We were all absolutely shocked that Zhang Chenlong didn't win.
Yeah, I think we all went for him, didn't we?
Yeah, and then it was a bit of a shock that Akimoto won. And I think Zhang maybe this time will play around a little bit less in the ring, a little bit less with the flashy stuff and the flying knees. Akimoto's really, really good. In that fight, I thought it was a lot of... he was very stylistic, but without so much substance to say. Like, he was doing a lot of flashy, like, flying kicks and drop kicks. So I don't know if that's swayed the judges, but I have to think Zhang's going to turn it around. Yeah, because we need some China power tonight. So I am officially going with Zhang Chenlong.
Okay. I'm going to join you, Chris.
God.
Drake's also gone for Zhang Chenlong.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go the way, but I just have to say that 62% of all FANATICS MMA users went for Akimoto.
You should go for
So-
Akamoto. Back yourself.
Are we right here, guys? Are we wrong? Do you want to prove us wrong and go for Akimoto and get the 100 points? It's 100 even anyway. So download FANATICS MMA. Just the link is down in the description. Join us on the SCMP MMA group. Show us how wrong we are. It's the one and only place that you can do it.
I'm always wrong. I've had a terrible time lately, guys, haven't I? I'm hoping to bounce back here. It's a big moment for me. A big moment for me. Okay, well, we made our picks there. Why don't we do Rod Tang quickly? Let's go. Rod Tang against Tagir
100%.
Kalilov. Let's have a little look at that. I'll get the browser up. Okay. Who you got, Chris?
See, for this one, it is only going one way. I have to go with the king of East London himself, Mr. Rodney Tang. Rod Tang is the one. I mean, you look at that record, age 23 is absolutely ridiculous. Watched some of his training footage recently from Yorkout Gym. I think he was training with Sanchai and Satichai over there. He was looking super strong, super good. I mean, all respect to Tagir Kalilov. If he can actually do this, I'll be super, super surprised. I actually thought the person he replaced, was it Alejandro Rivas, would have actually been a much more competitive fight for Rod Tang, but I'm going to go with Rod Tang. What I like about this fight is hopefully if he can win this, maybe he's a step closer to that belt. Maybe he can call out the winner, or the winner of the title fight tonight can call out Mr. Rodney Tang and challenge him to an East London throwdown. So with all my heart, I go with Mr. Rodney Tang.
In answering Sammy's question, right? No one is not going for Rod Tang. 100% of FANATICS users have gone for Rod Tang. So
yes, I've never actually seen that ever before since we've used it. So that's
no. I've seen up to like in the 90s, but definitely not 100%.
Oh wow!
Just shows you how confident everyone is in the ability of Ronaldinho.
I think we need to tell the guys at Fanatics to boost those odds. Get those odds up. We need to get them to 1%. Give them a plus 3,000.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're listening, Michael.
Rob one was amazing. That boosted everyone up.
Make it worth our while to pick Tagir, please. Make it plus 3,000, something like that. Maybe I can get out of the basement. I can
9,000.
I'm down there with Chris in the basement of the leaderboard.
I'm 12 places above you, Nick. There's only two people below you, Nick. There's only two people below you.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is news to me. Oh my days. We'll have a look at that leaderboard.
Three people below Nick.
You take that, Nick.
That's some bullshit. Yeah. What can I say?
Yeah, Chris is 2 spots above me. I'll get there one day.
What can I say?
I'm
going to have a big
my
week
belt away to James.
The comeback starts now. The comeback starts with 5 days.
Comeback starts in March. How about that?
Maybe in March is better for me.
Oh, wow.
All right.
FANATICS has a comment.
Oh, you press it. I'm frozen, please.
All right. Pressing.
Ooh,
look at that. Oh, wow.
What?
That is ridiculous.
That's massive. Crazy.
What? That makes no sense. Wait. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. Well, Fanatics, if you're listening, you clearly are. Why don't you boost those Rod Tang odds for Tagir?
Yeah.
Giorgio Petrosian.
Get on it, James.
James, Mikey, you know what to do. Thank you for fixing the browser, by the way, guys. Giorgio Petrosian, the Doctor. Featherweight kickboxing co-main event against David Kiria. -205 favorite. Kiria, have I got it right? He is Georgian, so you got the pronunciation.
Yeah.
Jasmine, are
I've
you
been
going
waiting.
against your adopted countrymen or what?
I've been waiting all week to say this though, but according to sources,
Yeah.
Petrosian and Kyria have trained before together, so they have been teammates.
Okay.
They
And
fought.
they have also fought before. In 2012, in Glory. So they've gone up against each other before, and apparently they've trained together before as well. So this is interesting to me. But man, you can't go against the Doctor. This is a strange matchup, in my opinion.
Even if you beat
For-
him, sometimes you can't win, as we
Yeah.
saw with Pet Marcotte.
Yeah, I mean that one was crazy. People went so deep into that one. They were timing the clinches and so many things. It was so weird, but I don't know. They brought that back for a rematch. So
Well, who you got for this one then? Make it official.
I really
Well, we're
really
going to go
want
to Chris first then. Then you
Yeah.
can mull it over. Maybe Chris can convince you. What?
Yeah.
Who are you going for, Chris? The
I'm
Doctor.
going with
going
Giorgio
for
Petrosian.
Petrosian,
He
yeah.
is by far and away easily top 5 pound for pound kickboxer in the world. Probably second or third in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Beats almost everyone in every style. I mean, you look at that record, 102 and 2. So it does show you how ridiculously good he is. And Kyria is not someone to be slept on. But the problem is, whenever he's fought the top level guys like a Nicky Holskin, he's lost. When he's fought
Nicky
Petrosian,
Holskin,
he's lost.
2012.
City Chai, he lost. Superbon, one of my favorite fighters in the world, he lost to Superbon. I mean, I think Superbon right now on the kickboxing is ranked £7 per pound, and so he's not ever losing to bad guys, but he just seems to be just outside that world class elite level to get it over Petrosian. I doubt it. It would be the shock of the night, in my opinion, if Petrosian were not to win this.
I do have to also add, just look at that massive difference between the records.
Yeah.
This is another strange matchup, in my opinion. They could have done this later on in David's career, but in one, but they decided to do this for his debut, which is very strange. But
I think they just need sacrificial lambs for Georgia. You got to keep giving Georgia fights.
I do really have to say that I hope that they're not going to make Georgia the new Egyptian top team, because Georgia has a lot of great fighters in all sorts of places. You've got kickboxing, we've got MMA, we've got how many Georgian fighters in the UFC right now? There's actually I think 2 or 3 Georgian fighters, including David, who's in one, but we've not seen the other 2 fight yet. It's just they're not really good at that matchup game right now, are they? It's just fodder.
Not good. But
No.
this is a tough task.
It's tough.
90% of people, I think it was, who went with Giorgio on the app. So not many giving poor old, how do I pronounce it again? Kyria. A chance. Okay. Main event time, guys. Get out of here. Elias Enahachi against Superlek. This is a banger. Flyweight Kickboxing World Championship. Now it's triple or nothing, as we know, guys. So I want you to put your necks on the line. Give me the winner and the method of victory.
I just remembered why I don't come on these anymore. The peer pressure.
That's it. You gotta put your neck out there on the line. Chris, why don't you kick us off then?
I think this is going to be an absolute barn burner of a fight back and forward. We were talking earlier about in this Grand Prix how young some of the people are. I mean, look at the age of these two absolutely fantastic fighters, Enachai and Superlek. Just absolute fighters, 24, 25. They've got years and years and years left to give. Solid records, obviously. But this is only going one way. I think this and Elias Enachi, I think he's going to win it. I think it's probably going to be quite close. So for my method, I'm going to go Elias. And for my method of victory, I'm going to go for the decision. I think we're going to see it go right to the judges.
This is hard to choose, says Erger. I agree. I was leaning towards Superlek, but only 26% of people on the app have picked him. That's making me think twice.
It might just be because everyone tends to favor champions and top ranked people. From my experience, that's exactly what happened last week. So I am going to go with my gut. I'm going to go with Superlek, but what was Superlek's last win?
Let me hover over. You can look. You can see the records on the app.
He beat Khaled back in a New Breed 2, and then
by decision, right?
Did he fight Super Bowl before that?
He beat Pan Payak, Jit Muangnon as well. Before that, surrender in August. He's on a little win streak there.
He's on a four-fight win streak. Elias is on a 2-fight win streak. So I've gone for Superlek, as you can see.
I've just whipped out on that. I was going to join you, Jasmine.
Wimp.
Yeah, I'm going to go for decision as well.
I'm going to go for the decision as well, because I think it's going to go all the way. It's going to be an absolute banger.
So 100%. Watch what happens when there's a KO.
Well, can I say one thing? I think me and Jasmine, we've chose the same people on absolutely every fight. So Jasmine, I'm getting this out for you. This is some butter. Can you use this after the fights? You know why? Because you're going to be toast.
Oh, damn.
Get out of here. With your damn puns.
Well, that's it for the card. I
almost accidentally clicked on the comment again. I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead, please, because I gotta.
No. I was clicking out of the notes app.
I'm gonna try and unfreeze myself. So bear with me.
All right.
So do you think this will be a fast fight card, or do you think it will fill up the whole time allocation, or do you think it'll be one of them where we might have a few finishes?
Yeah, you're moving now, Nick. I think that there are going to be maybe 1 or 2 finishes.
Yeah.
But just because it's mostly kickboxing and Muay Thai, I feel like it's just going to go all the way.
Yeah.
Well, look, everyone, join us tomorrow, please, for the Fight Companion. What time do we want to start? Can you do it, Chris? Can you do it, Jasmine? Will you join me?
Yeah, first fight is 8:30.
Okay.
Starts. Yeah, so we'll do half an hour earlier.
Let's jump in a little early to get the fun going. I'm sure we can get Leon in.
8 p.m. Hong Kong time.
Yeah.
Approximately
4 p.m. Georgia time.
12
8
o'clock
a.m. LA time.
GMT.
Yeah. 12 p.m. GMT.
I mean, I wanted to talk about The Apprentice a bit, but we've nearly gone for 2 hours, so I think we saved that for another time. Maybe we can chat about that tomorrow. Because
I'm curious as to what you've seen now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what I was going to say was Sage mentioned that it's going to be on Netflix in the US, and I think that was a flip of the tongue when he told that to Ariel Hawani.
Oh shit,
so that's cool.
That's actually a pretty good move. I just want to say, everyone out there who enjoyed the picks in particular, if you want to join us on the picks, you want to join the group, you know what you've got to do. Get down into them comments, download that Fanatics Fantasy MMA app, straight from the App Store. It's on the Play Store. You can find it almost everywhere. Get on the app. Come and challenge us. You know, as long as you finish 33rd or below, I'll be ranked above you. You can get above these two fools and Drake Riggs. Come on.
Leave Drake
30.
out of it.
You are 2 spots above me, Mr. Edwards Bailey.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
As
At least
long
I've got
as
a winning percentage. At least I've got more right than wrong. Okay.
Maybe I'll
No
just
rights.
share the leaderboard quickly. We'll see who's where.
I've flipped it around.
Leaderboard this month is not me on top, which
I
No,
think
is
it's
it's
James,
James and Ranimal.
who's in the comments as well. Who top?
James Bedell, Mr. Fanatics, is top. I think he's clearly cheating and has hacked the app so that he wins. It's obvious.
So
what
he
he's doing.
takes the belt away from me.
Can
And he
I have
gets
one
that
question?
lovely SCMP
James
MMA
is top
t-shirt.
with a 20-20 record. I'm 65th with a 21-19 record. I call foul.
It's just the odds, man. That's exactly what happened to me last time.
James is making it.
wasn't doing very
He's
well.
fixing it for himself, obviously. Doesn't matter where, it's all about taking part, guys. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that I'm last. Oh, I really am. How did I
Fourth
drop
last.
more? I was 68th the other day.
2255. Oh my days.
What the hell? I'm below Chris. That's terrible. I'm
Oh,
below
man.
one championship UK.
Man, before the UFC, I was 12th in the whole group.
You
I
had a
was
bad
12th in
day.
the whole group before the UFC on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 8 fights in a row wrong. It went from great to terrible. I was like 50 places above Jasmin and 30 places above Drake. Me and
Yeah.
Drake both had the stinker last week. Yeah, well, look, Drake got 22 right and 18 wrong. You know, that's not terrible, man. As long as you get more right than you get wrong.
Well, maybe it's time for a discussion whether we switch to the other system of play.
What's the other system?
It's okay.
It's
We've got
just
two.
straight like wins and losses. So
Okay.
if you've got
we can,
50
we can
wins,
try it out. Yeah.
We've got 2 huge events this weekend, guys. We've got UFC on the weekend. We've got one championship tomorrow.
I still need to
Everything can change over these events. You know, this is nearly 20 fights over these 2 events. If you get them all right, you're probably going to be top and see if you can.
Wait, scroll
only
down
20
a bit.
people have points above 0. It says how hard it is.
No, but look
Not
at that.
making
They've
it
got 4 rights and 3 wrongs, and they're above us. We still
Yeah,
need to do that.
also-
Yeah. So, like, maybe against Vegas is not a great one for us because so many people skip on
Yeah, and
like a lot of
Big
the
shout
cards.
out.
Yeah, maybe we'll do March. We'll try the other system, see if we enjoy it more, and more importantly, if I'm better at it. And then if I'm better, we'll stick with it because I'm not going to hang around in the low 70s.
No.
Yeah, I'm coming for the top, James. Either way.
Yeah. James is
Anyway.
taking it away from me, and Nick
Well-
is going to take it away from you, James. It's just
Time-
going to stay in Hong Kong now.
Time
Yeah,
to sign
Chris,
off, guys. Is it?
Go
is it,
for it.
Is it a good one? I'm going to say much love, much peace to everyone out there. Like, subscribe, send it to all your friends, enjoy the channel, check out all the great interviews by everyone in the team. And if you want more from me, ChrisEB_MMA on Twitter, ChrisEB on the IG. That's the best place to find me.
Yeah, go check out
That's a good plug.
Blaze_MMA as well.
Yeah, I talk mostly bollocks on the Twitter. I spent
Don't we all?
I spent
Don't we all?
2020 off of social media. 2021, I jumped back only on Twitter, only for MMA Twitter. So give me a
Well-
follow there. Make it worth my time.
Then on
If-
Bebo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give Jasmin a follow. Go check out her YouTube channel as well.
Yeah,
Especially
I've
if you,
just
where
Posted
can we
a
find
few
it?
videos on there if anyone needs some advice on doing at-home study. I've got some of that. If anyone's doing an online university, I've got some videos on there as well. That took me so long to make. Oh my goodness me!
Yeah. Well, go check it out, everyone.
One of the
and
videos is 45 minutes long, and it took me a whole week to edit it.
That is very long.
Yeah,
I
it's
might not
brutal.
watch that all the way through, but
Don't watch it. All the way through.
I'll check it out.
If you don't have anything to do with the university that I'm talking about, just watch the last one. It's got purple thumbnail on it. How to stay motivated while studying at home. You can also use the tips for how to stay motivated for working at home if you're still working from home. So
Yep, go give it a follow and a like and a subscribe to Jasmin.
yeah, trying
and
to get 1K subscribers this year. Get me that
Go do
YouTube
it.
money.
Get that YouTube money. Check out the Patreon as well. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you again Friday. Come watch the fights with us tomorrow here. We'll be on from about 8 o'clock Hong Kong time. All right, peace and love. Thank you, guys.